Well, hope everyone had a good whole day since the last time we spoke. It's been a whole 84 years. No. So let's just start at the top here, shall we? I've got a few requests already. I'll get those in a second. First, Bitcoin in the wait a minute zone in between the 50 and the 100, cruising sideways. Here's the Bollinger Bands. Pretty interesting look. If you haven't seen the Bollinger Bands, you don't know what Bollinger Bands are. Well, what have you not been watching? Where they're free? Then right here in the instructional videos is an entire video series, recently recorded, by the way. And here you go. Bollinger Bands are right there in that little video series. I just linked over on the right in the little comment section. So, Bollinger Bands just show us potential price action and volatility. Volatility meaning back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, or big moves up and big moves down. Snappy price action. How about that? As you see, they're dead sideways. Getting tighter, nice and I guess you could say even for the most part, which shows me that this is likely to kind of move sideways, not necessarily up or down real far, just mostly sideways, in the range of 67.5 to 59.3 currently. Now, the more sideways we go, the tighter these Bollinger Bands get. So just watch them. How about that? Okay. Little buys here and there for me when I have some extra money, but nothing major. All right. This is what I said I would do if I had extra money. And that's what I've been doing, just kind of parking my extra couple bucks here or there over in Bitcoin. And as you see, I've got about $1,300 or so dollars saved up, just extra couple dollars here, there, 20, 30, 50, 70, 50, 30, 40, 100, whatever I get goes over here into Bitcoin. Similar story here with Ethereum as far as is it going to go sideways or is it going to go down? A little worse off though for Ethereum. Linear log doesn't matter. That's linear. That's log. That's all downtrending either way and has yet to break out under the 100, under the 821, under the 50, only above the 200 moving average. So, well, I guess it's going to keep doing this more. That's what I see. I don't see anything that necessarily moves the needle in the other direction for me, aside from equal lows so far. See that right there? Just didn't really lose that level of 29.75. 29.75 to 3,000 seems to be contentious and doesn't want to give up. Meaning, I bet it tries to hang on to this level here. Roughly, like I said, 3,000 to 27.50. I bet it tries to hang on to that. I bet it doesn't want to cut loose and lose it. But again, it could be wrong. So it really just depends on how mean Bitcoin wants to be. We've spoke about this before, but it's not alt season. A lot of helicopters and stuff outside. It's not alt season. And until it is alt season, and that's when this here Bitcoin dominance chart gives up, and it ain't gave up yet. And even when it gives up, it should just be only a short-lived give up with more moving up toward the end of the year until we get our very violent down. It's going to keep on being Bitcoin and upper cap season. How about that? I won't say that some altcoins won't perform, because they will. The thing is, you can't expect them all to perform as well as others. In fact, we found last time this happened, the entire 2020, was mostly Bitcoin, Ethereum, and a few upper caps, right? Right toward the end of the year, everything got a little bit of a push. And that was kind of the little push that alts needed to kind of get a little bit of a jolt and get a restart. After that, 2021, it was all up for everything, including altcoins this time. So you were getting a lot of, here's the basis of the psychology for you. So first, again, we've talked about this before, but anyone who says, do you know anything about crypto? The answer will either be no, I don't. 2, I don't want to know. Or 3, do you mean Bitcoin or whatever? Right? Those are your 3 answers. No, I don't want to know. Bitcoin or whatever. That's everyone's introduction into crypto, mostly. It's Bitcoin. It was mine. I'd heard about Bitcoin before I heard about anything else. You can expect most new money to come into Bitcoin. All right? First, after we get a run up in Bitcoin and we get toward the end of the year And you start to see a lot of chatter about altcoins and alt season, and it's only a matter of time before people start being stupid retail and they sell that Bitcoin and they buy altcoins. That's how the big flow of money really has to happen. We have to have money come out of Bitcoin and into altcoins. Then we start seeing that ricochet effect from Bitcoin to altcoins. Altcoins go up, then they rebuy Bitcoin. Then Bitcoin goes up and they rebuy altcoins, and altcoins go up and they rebuy Bitcoin. And we do this ping pong up the ladder effect for a little bit till the end of the year. And all of a sudden people start buying those altcoins again, and well, then they don't go up anymore. And we know how fast altcoins can go down. Then they start going down and down and down and down. Then the downward spiral continues, and you say, oh, I should have just stayed in Bitcoin. And then you switch it back to Bitcoin, and then you proceed to lose another 30 to 50% of your value, right? You can see this stuff coming. One must be prepared for it. Again, if you don't know, it's not alt season. Sorry. It will be, but it's not yet. I'm thinking the end of the year, 2025, all of 2025. Some of these even show slowing down before the end of 2025, towards September, October area, perhaps. That makes sense for some of them. We'll see as we go along, right? We saw it happen last time. We were told it would happen. Then we didn't believe it, and we saw it happen. Well, here we go. Third time around. Let's not be fools, right? Some of you guys, this will be your second time around, and some of you guys, this will be your first bull run. Again, Bitcoin, then upper caps. How about that? Bitcoin, then upper caps, and then altcoins. That's an easier way to think about it, all right? And if you think your coin is an upper cap, it probably isn't, right? That's the simple skinny for that. How about, let's go through some that were requested. First one that was requested was Credi. And here we are. So on a high time frame, don't mind the messiness. This is my actual buys and sales. Y'all know that. Let me pull this short-term fib off. This is my actual buys and sales. We're still over the weekly AEMA technically. Now, the weekly has just started, so let's give it a bit here and see if it irons itself out. I really, really like the weekly hammers that I saw almost across the board. Look at that big, humongous weekly hammer candle here, which tells me that we've likely hit our low point overall, which was about 2 cent flat. I don't think that comes back. I don't think we get that level again. I think that's probably as low as it gets here. And I don't think it goes much lower than that. That was an excellent weekly. That was an excellent weekly close. Back over the 8, hanging on, big hammer candle, good buy pressure. More buy pressure than sell pressure. So once this sell pressure releases and is gone, then you're left with only buy pressure with escalating buy pressure as those shorts go away, right? It's only a matter of time. We got to give it a little bit. I mean, it's not going to happen when you want it to. Credi ran early. A lot of these indicators are starting to reset. There's your RSI, kind of nominal now, leaning down. MACD kind of catching back up. We'll see if it has another push into it here. It's falling by volume, but still more buying than selling. All right. Again, that's weekly. I like to look at a lot of this on weekly because it keeps the bigger picture. I don't want you guys missing the bigger picture here. All right, so we were expecting a lot of these to come back to the 50-day moving average, give it a bonk on the head, and see what happened. And as you see, it bonked its head and has since forth rejected. So far, she doesn't like not only this 50 moving average, but the Fibonacci level right here. It's also bumping its head on, which is the 6-1, overall 618, right? And right down here is the overall 50. Also right down here is the 200 moving average, if you see that. If I put my extensions on, moving average extensions, they're available in the custom indicator scripts section. Let me share that for you right now. Copy link and paste right there in the pinned messages of the custom indicator scripts are moving average extensions. Well, what do? Well, they kind of guess where the price is going to go based on data, and they come pretty close usually. All right, so we can see that a lot of these moving averages just going sideways. She's hitting the 100, not wanting to give up. If it breaks the 100, 200 is the target. And again, 2 cents seems like the floor here. but we'll see. I mean, that's a long way down to get back to 2 cents. So for now, everything's okay. Even though it bumped its head on resistance, I'd be a little careful and look for a higher low here. A higher low over the trend line. You could draw a trend line here, by the way. See that? That's broken trend, but it's still under the 50-day moving average. So it's a little bit stuck in the mud. Maybe it goes sideways, which I guess isn't the worst thing, right? It's not the worst thing. DMTR, Demetra. So I have another bit of money that I'd like to add the rest of this in. I sold 3,600 worth up here. You see that? And I rebought 2,500 worth, and I reserved $1,000 thinking maybe I could get back a little lower, and it's given me that. So I'm going to split this between these two, and I'm going to try to get this DMTR back down here at about 0.125 again, which is where I think it's going to come down to, which is that 100-day moving average and a 50 fib at the same time, the big overall 50 fib right here, right? I think it's going to come down there and give her a tag, which also happens to be roughly the weekly 21 EMA. I think that makes sense. You see that, right? So I think it just makes sense for it to go to that level. Could it go farther? Yes, it could go farther. But with the way things are going, with the way we just came out of halving, I think the big downs are over. And here's our side-by-side. Sorry, I just reloaded TradingView when I walked back in here before I turned the stream on, so it's not sized up perfectly. I'll size it up now. All right, so on the left, we've looked at this, and we'll continue to look at this until this moves over. And it isn't over yet, so we're going to keep watching it. I don't like fractals. Let's put that out there first. If you've been around for longer than a couple months and you've been watching, you see me make fun of fractals left and right. You cannot copy and paste this and expect it to be the same way. That's not how fractals work. What you have to do is find like price action, scale it based on support and resistance, and then see what comes out, right? Timeline is different. I'm just looking at the timeline of events here and kind of matching it up with previous price action to see how about it would look if things continue to unfold the way they were. All right, so what I've got here is a chart that's not even. There we go. That's better. Still not even, but it's better than it was, right? I'm using up some of the room over here. That's closer, pretty close. What I've labeled is this white line being 2016 down was complete. And that was this move here in 2016, all right? It was shortly after the FOMC meeting. So we've already had the FOMC meeting. It was a little closer to having than the other one was by a few days. All right, then we had our move down right near the FOMC, and we had a move down right near the FOMC. Was that it? Was that all? Well, if you look back in 2016, we did breach the cloud on the bottom side here, and we did breach the cloud over here, right? Now, the cool thing is we've recovered and got back inside the cloud now. I like that. Now, for it to stay in the cloud, it's going to have to close at 65,000 by the end of the week. If it doesn't close at 65,000, it's actually going to fall out of the cloud again over here. And there's a possibility that we make that stab down that everyone may be waiting on, okay? I don't really want to fool around with fire and find out if that's the right line or not. I don't want to try to pull hairs that closely. It seems like nitpicking in my opinion, and I don't want to nitpick too much. I've already got pretty good prices on some of this stuff. I've managed to rebuy some stuff, take some profits, scale in, scale out. I'm pretty happy with the way things have gone so far. And I don't want to push it to the absolute max. I feel like that might be greedy, so to speak. I feel like that might be greedy. I don't want to be greedy. So I'm watching it close. I want to see what happens. I don't have any control over it. Holding anything above 60,000 is amazing. That would be all she wrote. If it held above 60,000 and gets out of this bit of a funk of May and then leads into June, you're going to see more sideways and up. You're not going to see more sideways and down. Historically, that's what happens. Now, I don't have the four-way chart pulled up here, but I'll scale that out later and show everyone. I've been sharing it around a little bit already. It's just the four different halvings all on one screen. Do I think what retest the 50 fib and then sideways? Demetra? Yeah, that's what I was saying before you got on here, I think. If that's what you're talking about. If that's the one you're talking about. I think Creddy may do the same. It's possible. Less likely than Demetra. Yeah, so Star of the day, star of the week, star of recently has been Velo. I've almost sold this a few times thinking I'm being greedy, and it's hanging on for dear life. Now, I don't like it getting hung up underneath the resistance line again, but we're coming out of a 4-hour candle. Let's see if it reverses field here in the next couple hours and tries to do a bullish engulfing, or just holds the line up here and doesn't break through at all. It's worth watching. Everyone's watching it. Everyone was talking crap today, just being stupid, joking around. If we talk bad about it, things would go up. So it's been pretty fun to watch. I've kind of tried not to overswing trade it back and forth. You guys know I have a ton of this, and it's only a matter of time before it gets up to the levels we think it will get to. I think that's fairly obvious. It's going to get up to those levels. It just might not get there when we want it to. I would like for this thing to go ahead and go to 3.25, 0.0325, because if it does that, I can sell some. That's $70,000 for me. I can sell half and take $35,000 and swing it, or I can take that $35,000 and buy something that I know goes up, like Bitcoin or Ethereum. Just leave it in there and stick it, and don't touch it anymore, right? And I'll have exponentially more money. The question would be, how much would I miss out on Velo, right? And I don't want to play devil's advocate too much. I don't want to poke the bull. I want to poke the bull. But so far, weekly doing great. That's the resistance line I'm saying that we're pushing up into here, which kind of sucks. And 200 moving average extension is way up here. All right, all the way up here at 25 cents. Now, obviously, that's going to continue to come down. By the end of the year, it looks like roughly 12 cents or so, maybe 10 cents. It'll be where the 200 weekly moving average is on Velo. It doesn't even exist yet, right? It won't exist until July. So we have another 2 months before it even happens. However, it will start to appear in July. And when it does start to appear, then we're going to get to see where it closes out the end of the year. I think it's going to be around 10 cents. We'll see if we can get up to 10 cents by the end of the year, which would be incredible. That would set an amazing precedent for the next year. It's already broken into the top 300 market cap, the top 325, which is pretty wild because it was an 800 or 900 before. I've skipped a bunch of spots ahead, which is pretty cool. 175 million market cap. They've not burned any tokens or anything like that. You can earn really good rewards from staking. I don't stake. I will not do it. Don't ask me if I'm gonna. I ain't. Either way, ton of gains. We've done really well on this one. I want to be a little greedy, but not too greedy. I've been pretty greedy so far. RSI sky high 86, dude. Can that get up in the 90s? Yeah, it can. We've seen that happen before, right? If it does get up in the 90s, I'm going to have to think about taking profits, folks. That's a ton of money. And again, that next resistance line also happens to be other people in other discords have pointed it out. But around 0.35, there's more resistance. 0.25, there's some resistance, right? Like a 2.5 cents. I get it. And I think, it holds some water. It ain't going to be an easy path. That's why it's been choppy on the way up. Now it's never hit resistance for, and so far she's holding up fairly well for the first time having to do something, right? First time having to work. It was a little bit laboring, breaking through the previous yearly high. Well, now we're playing around getting near 2-year highs. That's pretty cool. So I'm here for it, folks. Short-term fibs run out at the end of the year. So by the end of the year, it's going to be up at one of these levels that we want. That's fairly obvious to me. And that starts our alt season off with a ton of money. I'm excited for that, fellas, ladies. That's going to be fun, dude. I don't like to get ahead of myself and be hopium. But I see the writing on the wall as far as how much money we can make. I'd really like to be, it would be insane, and I don't think it happens, but I would like to be near $1 million by the end of the year. I doubt that happens, but if I can get near $1 million by the end of the year, I can almost guarantee myself $2 million. I'm thinking more around the lines. I'll be around $500,000 at the end of the year. And then I can pretty much guarantee myself 1.5. But we'll see. $2 million was the goal. If I fall short of my goal, I'll be a little sad, but not like super heartbroken because that's still $2 million, which is crazy. Crazy, crazy talk. All right, let's go through a couple more here that we've talked about, but not necessarily featured or anything. Radium. So she's still holding on to the 50 fib like I was talking about Creddy and Demetra doing, and that's why I wanted to talk about it. You see that right there? It's hanging on to that 50 fib, which was about $1.50. Doesn't want to let go. Cool. Thought about cutting bait on Casper and CRV and buying some of these others, right? Radium and Jupiter and stuff like that. I'm pushed on that. Do I really want to poke the bull, or should I just stack up on the high caps and prepare for this year? Right? That's a tough call. I already have some of this. I bought it $1. So I'm up about 75% on that. I'm up to over 1,000, but I still could add more because, I think what's fairly clear, this thing's going to make another run up, isn't it? This summer here. I mean, we just got to give it a little time. Good look, just needs some more time. Jito, been looking at this one, and today, that's not it. There we go. Today, she's trying to shoot up over and get moving. It broke the 50, the 821, the 100, over everything here. She's now breaking trend. It's improved since the last time I looked at it. It was up like 3 or 4%. Now it's up to 10%. Linear log, doesn't matter. She's broken out no matter what. How far do we go? Well, I'm going to bet we get a little bit of chop over here at Sniper's Alley at 445 to 450. Then we see we're at 397, right? 397 right now. $4 is a guarantee. It already hit $4. $4 is the guarantee. Short term, the fibs line up, I bet, for the Sniper's Alley. Let's back down to linear. Yeah, $4.50 to $5 makes sense here by the end of the month. That's crazy. All right. By the end of the month, this thing could be back up here again. If I get the opportunity and it rolls over and comes back down to this 51 more time and I have the funds, I'd like to rebuy some of what I took out over here on Jito and perhaps put some more back in. This is a free ride for me now, though. My original money is out of this. I originally bought 1,000 and I've taken 1,000. So what's in here? House money, which is almost near $1,000 now. So, I could sell this if I needed to and buy something else. That's the strategy. You get that? Jupiter, similar to Jito, similar identical move I played here on this one. I bought down there 1,000. I sold 1,000. This is now house money, and it's worth $1,250, I think. So it's stuck under the 50 at the moment. She still needs to get over that, much like Bitcoin, getting squeezed here by moving averages. I bet it ranges in here and thinks about it first till the end of the month. That being said, it is already broken out, and we do have some pretty clear resistance here. Oh, I'm going to draw that. I'm going to draw a rectangle. A rectangle. There we go. Kind of like that. Some resistance there. Needs to get through that. Hasn't yet. Very well may. Exchange. I rebought this a little early, jumped the gun, and I got a 30% discount. I could have got a 45% discount. Now, I'm still not upset. Okay. I still got a rebate, and I got 30% more than I had. So it's all right. It's cool. Good news is I think she's about done bleeding out here. It's getting near 786 at about 12 cent flat. She's almost oversold. A lot of moving averages rolling over, and it is stuck in a downtrend, and it's been getting crushed by sell pressure. So I think it will turn the corner. And if you want the whole chart, you can go to Exchange, or regular change. I'm sorry. Exchange is the new one. She did hit a 1618 upward, and now it's come back down. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, see about a 618 downward too. So it's probably due for some sideways and another push up later, probably by the end of the year. I think we get up here toward these extension levels, which would be fun. That'd be fun. 42.5. Yeah, somewhere up there. That'd be fun by the end of the year. Yeah, I would be excited if that happened myself. So again, these are all the little ones that help me get that goal of having $1 million by the end of the year. I recently dollar cost averaged BAB, BAX. Why did I dollar cost average this one? Well, it's sitting on the 236 fib right there. It's been bouncing this fib since last year, 2023, September. It hasn't failed it yet. That doesn't mean it won't. It's just it seems to have a hold up so far. I would like to try to get my money back on this one. If I can get this back to break even, which is roughly 0.000145, if I can get that back to break even, I may just sell this one and bail and find something else until later. This one kind of trapped me and kind of held my money up, as you see. And I'm still down on it until it gets, I need a 30% gain just to get back to break even, right? So, that's the way it goes sometimes when you try to buy these and leave them alone. That's why I DCA'd it, right? To try to get back out. Same thing with shrapnel here. All right. So I bought way too high, about $1,000 worth. And now that I've bought another $1,000 worth, I've actually dragged my average price down to below 20 cents. But still, I have to get up to just 20 cents to break even. That's 40%. I'm going to have some big fat candles here just to get back to break even. Not fun chasing your tail, right? This is the problem that I had on the other one that I took profits on earlier today, a zero. Now I've got 1,500 back out of this. I got half back out. The reason I did that was it got near my break-even price. So that was my break-even price. I went ahead and got my dollar cost average that I used to move it up and get my average lower. I got that back out plus 500, right? So I'm back to my original buys minus 250 on each one of these. So I've reduced my loss by 25% and got my DCA back. All right. And then I used that DCA to buy BAB, right? BAX. I want to do the same thing with that, try to do the same and recover some of that money and make it more useful than it is now, without going wild. Coins that I'm going to bail on. CRV, what a disappointment. When you're wrong, you're wrong. And boy, was I wrong on this one. Just get me back to break even. My average price is right there in purple. But still, that's not even easy. It's got to break trend, 821 EMA, and will likely bump its head on that 50. That's 20%. Dude, CRV ain't going to do no damn 20%, is it? So I'm likely stuck waiting on this one. Sucks is the way it is. Doesn't suck as bad as Casper. Oh my God. Looked at this chart way back and I said, hey man, this looks similar to ICP. Got that sideways price movement down low. I bet this is worth a stab. Boy, was I wrong. It continues to bleed out. I can't even get back to break-even average price. It's so far down. The good news is I sold 2,000 up here, so I only have like 800 left in it, and it's probably only worth about like 600 now. There's not a lot of money left in this at all, and I'd already gotten out a good chunk because I'd gotten frustrated by the fact that it didn't go up as high as I wanted it to. I ended up selling that way back here. Well done, Keith. It did go up a little higher, but I got out, and it's cool. So I only left a little. Again, I'll just stick this money in something else and not worry about it anymore because it really let me down. Is what it is. You know what I mean? ICP is another one that's kind of just going sideways and holding pat. I bet it bounces this trend line again. Getting pinched by all the moving averages. All these moving averages are bearing down. Yeah. It's going to sit here and ball up and have to figure something out. You see that thing pointing to this spot? That spot is the end of the month. I'm sorry. That just means we have another 28 days to go. Or 29 days, 30 days, whatever. 28. Some more time to go. I'm an idiot. 21 days. 22 days. Man, I can't count. I don't know. Quant this one's been disappointing too. But I'm not far off on it. It's just kind of gone sideways like Link, you know? Just kind of went sideways and done much nothing. Did shoot up a couple spikes, but then right back down. So do you bail on this one after I've already taken profits and trading in and out of it a few times, or do you leave it alone and keep going? Tough decision. So I could probably just stick this in something else. Yeah. I'll make that call when I get back above. Once it gets back above these moving averages, back above break even, I'll make that call then. You know what I mean? We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. OP Optimism. I recently bought a couple profit dumps into this one. Just moving out of some stuff into this one. Look at how it's getting rejected by the 50 and the 200. The death cross incoming on Optimism here. This tells me we're going to go sideways for a while. Even if we get up above these averages, we're going to go sideways because these averages are all balling up in a ball over here, and that's good. That tells us when we get over here in June, July, you're going to see all these things jump over these moving averages and get on the top. It might not happen that fast. It might do something like this where it jumps over and then sits on the top, all right, and then sets up a move for later. We saw this happen last bull market. I want you guys to remember that pattern I just showed you. Moving averages all bunching up into a ball. Price action gets a little wonky, goes sideways, and then jumps over it, and we're able to capitalize on that later on. Now, been a hell of a day, been a hell of a week. Bull market's coming up. Last thing I'll say here, can we please not plan ahead now on how to lose all our money later? I've had a few DMs and I've tried going through some of them. I'm down to 217. It was at 225. I get it. You want to make a plan for the bear market. I told you my plan for the bear market. I'm just going to sit in stable coins. I may cash some out into cash in order to take care of some stuff in the real world here for myself, like build the house, perhaps rent a bulldozer and flatten out a bunch of the farmland. We'll see. I kind of want to start a different business. We'll see how that goes. But I'm talking about spending at least half, right? The other half I want to keep in for investments, plus pay myself my salary. So we'll see. We'll see how it all works. I'm going to have to make a lot in order to cover all that, aren't I? Yeah, I'm going to need a lot. So I can't go planning on locking my money up in high yield anything. That's all a ripoff and all a scam, and it won't last. And if you don't know that, ask anybody who went through 2022, and they will tell you that everything went down. There was no real world back assets because all those assets were backed by something that was going down by 70%. There was no node protocol that worked great and made you all your money back. There was no long-term staking or DAOs that held on that you got money from. Rarely did the average person make any money in the bear market. Rarely. Most of the time, if anybody made any money, it was because they got free money, they took a deal, or they had elite level DeFi skills, which 99% of us don't have. I just need everyone to use your brain. I just need everyone to use your brain. You gotta play it conservative when the bear market comes. It's not time to get aggressive during a bear market. It's not time to get aggressive during a bear market. And to 2026, then we can get aggressive. All right. But until then, I'm holding off and I'm going to sit in stable coins and relax. Okay. Y'all be good. I'm heading to a play. I got tickets to go to the Peace Center in Greenville here. I got tickets to go see Miss Doubtfire, the musical. Been waiting for a while for it to come. I've had tickets for like 5 months. Me and the lady like to go watch a musical, catch dinner. It's good fun, dude. We went and saw Pretty Woman. Dude, it was freaking amazing. Pretty Woman, in theater was freaking amazing, dude. If anybody gets a chance to go watch it, top notch, dude. It's so good. So good. Anyway, I got that. I'll still be hanging out with the admins and moderators tonight. I got to let them know what the schedule is. I don't know exactly when I'll be back from the show, but it'll be right after the show, right? So anyway, I had this stuck up in the weekly update videos with everything else. I'll put it in the live stream section too, whatever. Y'all be good. I'll see y'all over in the Discord. Peace.